This is the Scrap Metal Commodities Recycling Report by BENLEE, Roll-Off, Lugger, and Open-Top Trailers and Raleigh Goldsboro Metal Recycling, April 25th, 2016. In this report, last week many commodity prices continue to rise, yet there were mixed economic signals about global growth problems. U.S. steel production rose for another week and remains near a 7-month high and is slightly above last year's production. The oil rig count declined yet again last week. It is now at a 6-year low and is about 80% down from just 18 months ago. Non-OPEC countries are forecast to have the largest drop in oil production in 2016 in 25 years. OPEC is getting what they wanted, which is for them to have increased global market share of oil. Ferrous scrap prices leveled off at an 8-month high, which has helped recyclers' profitability and volume. Steel Dynamics, which also owns OmniSource, the second largest scrap metal recycler in the U.S., released earnings last week. They announced that OmniSource returned to profitability due to a combination of increased margins, increased volumes, and cost reductions. A lot of hard work clearly paid off. Nucor Steel, which also has major scrap metal recycling operations, also released earnings last week and said that their recycling operations improved from the fourth quarter of last year. Reports throughout the industry are that volumes of scrap metal into yards are up in recent weeks, which is the result of higher prices and better weather. The unknown is that with U.S. steel production ahead of last year, the U.S. dollar weaker, which has meant higher scrap exports, U.S. manufacturing not generating significantly higher scrap volumes, will this altogether bring increased volume enough to support higher demands? If not, prices of scrap and finished goods may rise until an equilibrium is reached. Hot-rolled coil steel prices continue moving up and are at 8-month highs. These increases, along with increased volumes, are key to better performance at U.S. steel mills. 304 stainless scrap metal prices rose for the first time in months and to levels not seen in over 6 months, a big increase. Copper prices jumped to levels of a few weeks ago, which are now near multi-month highs, but did settle back a bit this morning. With that, copper inventories remain near lows not seen in over 7 years, which will keep upward pressure on copper prices. Aluminum followed other metals and hit prices not seen in about 9 months last week. And when looking at a 5-year inventory chart of aluminum, we see that inventories are hitting new about 7+ year lows and will keep upward pressure on aluminum prices. This chart shows the U.S. Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index hit 50.8 last month, with anything over 50 being growth. This low number means that the U.S. remains having problems with good middle-class manufacturing jobs. The rate of growth of these jobs is at the lowest level since September 2009, when we're starting to come out of the Great Recession. On some other negative news, we learned last week of a decades-old scrapyard in North Carolina closed their operation, and a major shredder operation in North Carolina stopped buying all non-ferrous at the retail level so as to optimize operations. Caterpillar, the global powerhouse in equipment that dominates sales to the mining industry, reported that their sales were down an enormous 26% in the first 3 months of this year. They did report that the decline for March was less than previous months. Then they were seeing a bottoming of the energy and mining industry. China released new government debt numbers in the past 12 hours. Their debt hit a new high as percent of GDP as they work to prop up their economy. This high level could mean they have to scale back aid, which would further slow their economy and would put downward pressure on global commodity prices. And for a major positive, the U.S. weekly jobs report continues to bring good news to the overall U.S. economy. With a reading last week of 247,000, it was the lowest since 1973, over 40 years ago. Clearly very positive news. With that, we hope all have a safe and profitable week. My name is Greg Brown.